A funny team, I said to my staff on the bench. It just, I don't know why we weren't as consistent early. I gave Tucker that first three. Him and Wilkerson are two hellacious players. I mean, I think they're both really good. We put a lot into those two guys, and I thought Cone Carr did a heck of a job when he was on them. And that was maybe the highlight. I thought Jeremy did a heck of a job, both defensively and offensively. And Jackson was consistent. But when you add it all up, we were kind of 53-53, and then our two freshmen hit 8 of the next 10 points. And Jordan and Cam, which I'd say we need to come around, especially Cam because of his injury, he's just coming around. But they made some big plays. We got a running game going because we defended better, we rebounded better. And I thought in general that, of course, last 15 minutes we played awfully well. And the reason we didn't before is that's a damn good team too. Well coached, they do a lot of good things. They move that ball, and the mismatch, of course, was having Cooper guard DeVries, and that wasn't an easy cover for Coop. I thought he did a pretty good job, and we wanted to get the ball into him a little bit more, try to clear up that mismatch, and we didn't do a very good job of that. But in general, got to the free throw line 24 times. We didn't get enough shots up. Still 15 turnovers is too many, especially a couple of them were foolish again. But what's been good for us is our rebounding is still to be a plus 18 in a game like that is impressed me. And yet I give a lot of credit to them because they battle you, man, with smaller lineup. They're a hard cover. So if there's questions, I'll take them. But thank God Jeremy and our freshmen kind of carried us a little bit tonight.
I was going to ask you about, in particular, the early part of that game with Jeremy kind of asserting himself on the offensive end. It's something we haven't seen an awful lot of. But it also, his defense, those two runouts really seemed like they sparked you guys.
Yeah, don't fuel his fire. I mean, I need him offensively, and I love what he did. But, it's still not a three-point shooter. He's getting better at it. But I think what he did is he defended a lot better and ran our break a lot better. And that's why he got a double-double and deserves one. Even his points he scored, he pushed it. I mean, a couple times, I said to him at halftime, and you ever question me again about not pushing the ball, And we ran a clip of him. And I swear to God, sometimes it takes a lot to get through to somebody, but he did a hell of a job. And I'm really proud of him for that. So if he gets the ball moving, just like if he picks up at the top, and I told him and Cohen all week, you two guys are going to be a key defensively. You're going to have to guard those two guys. And I thought we did a pretty good job of it.
John, when they erased the 9-point lead, it was tied at 53. What were you thinking, and what does it say that those freshmen came through the way you mentioned?
Yeah, I was thinking who I was going to blame the loss on, to be honest with you. But no, I felt like we were playing good enough, but I thought we were making some mistakes. Remember when we were, I don't know what we were, and we were making a little run, and then Coop gets that rebound and throws it right to, and he hits a three, You figure that he hit that three and he hit one out of bounds, or we just kind of blew the coverage. Otherwise, we did a hell of a job on I think, one of the better players in this whole league in Wilkerson. So, yeah, I was concerned, but I was not panicking by any means. I thought we could cover them, and I thought if we do, I thought we maybe could wear them down, and I don't know if that happened. But I think they were missing some shots at the end, like happens when you're shooting a lot of threes and you are tired. So 31 threes, we held them to 30% or so. That's pretty good on a team that shoots it as well as they do.
And we talk about the freshmen off the bench, but your starters out-rebounded their first five, 25-5.
Yeah, that was a strange. I looked at that, when their center didn't get one, and Wilkerson and Enright didn't get. I mean, they had three guys that got 0, and one guy got 2. And I guess that's where I'm lucky. My guys get in there and get to the boards, although still I thought Cohen did a hell of a job defensively, but he's still got to rebound the ball better. He definitely has to do a better job in that.
Tom, you've talked about how good of a shooter Jordan Scott is, but for him to show up with that regard in this game, and then also to get, I think, 3 makes from Kerr as well in that first half, when those two are able to shoot like they can, how much better does it make this team?
Well, Kerr is starting to play better and better, too, Struggles a little bit in a couple areas, but he can make shots, and that really cures a lot of sins, So I was happy for him and proud of him, and if he's making shots and Jeremy can get the ball running, he got it up to him a couple times, and we nailed some threes on the break, and that was really a good thing for us.
Tom, I don't know this is a stat that I could track anywhere, but the lane violations on the opponents, it seems like every game you're picking up a couple. I think there were 2 or 3 in the first half tonight. Is there anything you guys are doing to draw that, or is that just something the other team?
No, like it is funny because sometimes, you mean on the free throws, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jeremy has a little hitch in his shot, but it's been the same shot for 3 years. And, I'm confused on that, to be honest with you. But I was disappointed because Jeremy's shooting the ball so well from the free throw. He actually missed some tonight. How many did he miss? I guess only 2. He missed 4, but 2 of them he got back, right? And Coop missed 1, and Jackson missed 1, but thank God Cohen made his couple of free throws. So, I don't know why that is. It's not trickery. It's the way he shot it the whole time. So, whatever.
Tom, up the middle here about Kurtang. The last few games, it seems like he's actually been more aggressive rebounding.
Yeah.
Maybe this is not the right game to ask since he had 0 rebounds, but it just seems he's been more aggressive on those missed shots. What can attest to him kind of showing that aggressiveness without the ball?
Well, I like that he's more aggressive offensively in general. He's still got to get better with the ball, and that creates some problems sometimes. But he has been rebounding the ball better. Up until this game, he gets 0, but I think he's going. And sometimes when you go, other people get the rebound just because you went. And I was pleased with Kerr in that respect. We haven't had one of those games where we're getting 5 or 6 guys playing well together. I mean, it happens. We're still struggling at 2. Divine struggled tonight, but we're getting enough guys that keep coming back and coming through. I just wish we could get a little more consistent at that position, and then maybe we could take another step up.
Tom, another career high for Jeremy tonight. When he can really take over a game like he did, especially in the first half, is there anything in your mind that points to him being one of the next great Spartan point guards?
Well, I've said it all along. I think the injury he had set him back a whole year. And, even today in our shoot-around, he's just dunking more effortlessly than he was. I mean, there's no question that he lost a lot when he lost, and yet he's getting it all back now. And, I don't want him to think he's becoming a three-point shooter until he improves in that a little bit more, but every one he took was a good one. I'm trying to get him to be a little more aggressive getting to the hole on those shot clock plays instead of just settling for a 3. But all in all, I thought that was one of Jeremy's best games. He defended pretty well. He pushed the ball exceptionally well. He shot the ball pretty well. So it was a good win and a good, as I said all along, when the head is good, the body's good. When the head dies, the body dies, and he is our head. And the better he plays, I think the better we play.
Coach, right here in the back, Jordan Scott led the team in plus-minus with 24. I'm wondering what type of impact does he make when he steps on the floor?
Well, I like Jordan Scott a lot. In fact, as you know, I've talked about what I do with him, and there's times I wanted to start him. And now I'd like to ask you, because are you a fan of the plus-minus? I never understand it, I see some guy that plays really good and he's a -5, and then I see some guy that plays really bad and he's a +20. So I'm not a big analytics guy. I'm a kind of a dome guy like Dick Vitale, only I got 2 eyes. What I see, I really liked what he did more than what his plus-minus was. But he's getting better all the time. He's starting to make shots now. That big 3 he made, and he just is. He can guard. He's tough. He can rebound. He's improving every day. And Cam started out a little sluggish today. Halftime, we got after him a little bit. And boy, second half, he answered it, ran better, did some better things. So he, too, is coming. He missed some time, and he's just got to get that back, get his confidence back.
Coach, back left here. At the 11-minute mark to like the 5-minute mark or so, you guys went on a 19-0 run. Jeremy was pushing. Divine was pushing the floor a little bit.
Crowd was rocking, lights were swaying. That was
all
a hell of a deal, man.
It was all going on. And you guys, from all three aspects of defending, rebounding, running, is that something that you felt like in that moment was that the turning point for you guys tonight in that moment to really take it away?
When we beat Arkansas, my first year in the grade 8 is, when the rebounding thing started. And then we figured we were such a bad shooting team that we better run because we couldn't score any other way. And you have to defend the run. So the defend, rebound, and run has been our motto now for 30 years. And when we do it right, when Jeremy pushes like he's pushing, we can be an effective team. We still got to straighten some things out in our half court at times, but we're getting better. A couple guys getting better here, a couple guys there. We just got to get consistently better, and I think that's what every coach hopes for. But if we're defending, rebounding, and running, and that's going well, then we're getting some things done.
Coach, on paper, this year, record-wise, is very similar to last year, but the way it's being done is very different. With last year around this time, strength in numbers was really the mantra, but now it was a lot of fears and colors tonight. So I'm just curious on how just the different, like what comes with that challenge of it just being more of a top, I wouldn't say top heavy, but kind of you need more from those top guys.
Yeah, and yet I think we subbed them. I mean, we do have 2 guys over 30 this time, but for the most part, if you're under 30, that's pretty good, and we played 8, 9 guys before, and if you keep them under 30, as long as you keep them fresher, and I think we did a decent job of that. I mean, they played 36, 36, 32, and, we had one at 33 and one at 30, but the rest of them were under 28, so I still think we have to have strength in numbers. Trey Fort, his day will come. The guy that didn't get to play tonight, that I think has played pretty well, he played a little bit, is Jesse. Because of the lineup they had, they were playing small ball the whole night, and so Jesse was the guy that didn't get to play as much. But Jesse and Trey are still valuable. Denham still does his job. He gets Jeremy, hopefully 8, 9 minutes rest is what we're hoping for with Jeremy. And he's fresher, he's better, but he's in better shape too. He's the lightest he's been since he's been here. And things are starting to go his way a little bit, which is cool.
That was actually, I was going to ask you a little bit about those rotations with some of those guys coming in, but more importantly, as you get to this point in the year and having to take that West Coast trip, how much do you need to get those guys maybe integrated a little bit more for the legs and for the long flight ahead? And how much did you learn from the UCLA and USC trips last year with that?
The most important thing I learned, they asked me on the radio in my radio show just now, what do you want to do different? Or what did you learn from last time? I said, only one thing I learned. I'd like to go there and win 2 games instead of lose 2 games. There was no fault in how we prepared things and how we traveled. It was all class, and we do a good job of that stuff. And it's not easy, It's not easy. It's different. I mean, these are college guys. I think about it, the NCAA would probably differ on that now, but these are college guys. They're not used to the West Coast trips and the things like that, and neither are those teams that come back here. But I'm going to see it mentally. Tomorrow we're going to talk about it mentally. We got to maybe be tougher and figure out how to grind it out there, because we play, I guess now it's a 3 o'clock game, which is good. I was hoping that we didn't play that night game. And so we play a 3 o'clock game, and then we can travel a little bit that night and get places, get some rest, get some practice time. We're going to bring the guys by Nike and and practice at LeBron's facility, and so there'll be some good things with it, and there'll be some, but there's going to be a lot of work. I mean, we put ourselves in a position now. It is similar than last year, but a little different because of some of the teams we've beaten, and yet the schedule doesn't get easier, and we're still one of those teams that our margin of error is still minimal, and yet when we're 22 up, I get confused myself sometimes. So I'm just going to keep living the dream and try not to wake up and see if we can take another step this week on the road.
And Jackson has been in double digits all 17 games this year. This is his 10th game with at least 10 rebounds. How valuable is that when the floor for Jax is just so high right now for you and your team?
Well, Jackson Kohler deserves everything he's got, and I told you guys that. There's not a guy on my team that works harder than him. Off season, he got himself in the best shape. He's changed his body fat, all that stuff. He eats it. I got the 3 L's. Do you like it? Do you love it? Or do you live it? He lives it. He lives it every day. He has very few bad practices. I could count them on my ear. And he does not, he just keeps grinding it, he plays to fatigue every time he plays, and I can't take any credit for that. Give him credit. He's done his job. He's made himself a very, very good player, and I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him because I like the direction we're going, and I like the way, Jeremy has kind of got a connection with him on those threes. He's got a connection with Coop on those lobs. It's been fun to watch this team come together too. Jaden Akins was in the locker room after, and I said to Jaden, I bet you wish Jeremy was pushing it like that last year. You would have had 20 a game, and he laughed, but he was so complimentary of the guys, and that's what we got going. So we got to keep that. Jimmy?
Yeah, you mentioned Cohen Carr and the defensive assignment he had today and the new job he did. How's he doing in terms of that role? Because that's new for him to have the onus on him against a guy like Wilkerson. How was he in the film room and
really
preparation?
Go back and look at the video and how many he scored on him compared to. It wasn't many. You already know that. So I told Cohen before the game. I told him 2 days ago, this can be your coming out party. It happened for Max Christie. Where we had to put him on some people. It happened for Jaden Akins all last year. I said, I got nobody else to guard, Jaden. You haven't been a great defender. You got to become an elite defender. He became an elite defender. And so that's what I've been pushing Jeremy on a little bit more, and definitely Cohen. I thought his preparation, his film study, the things he wanted to cover, I thought he was phenomenal. Still got to get more rebounds, still got to get more shots, And we got to do a better job of that. But if we're turning the ball over 15 times, we're not going to get more than 53 shots. And some of that was we got to the free throw line 24 times, which takes away some of your shot opportunities.
It looked like Cohen Carr's awareness away from the ball on defense was at a different level.
Yeah, and where he's really become a better player, unfortunately it doesn't always show up in the analytics or the stats. He's becoming a much better leader. He's one of my go-to guys in practice right now. I call him at night, and he just gives me all the right answers. And Cohen, what I need is Cohen to break out now offensively, because I still believe that kid's going to be a hell of a player. I really do.
And then when Cooper got in foul trouble, Carr had to play a little bit of the 4. So then there was more on Jordan Scott to guard him. And that was, for a freshman, that was a load also, I'd imagine.
Yes, when our 2 guards had to guard him a little bit, that it wasn't a fair match, It was David against Goliath a little bit there, but I thought Jordan did do a decent job. But Cohen was everything we'd hoped he'd be on that, and I'm telling you, that's a good basketball team we beat. A very well coached one, one that they run their offense. They get some shots because they got so many guys that can shoot it. And they hurt us a little bit on those slips early with their bigs. We made a couple of adjustments, how we covered that. It's a little bit better later on, but all in all, big win for us. Anybody else? Thanks a lot, guys.